There are quite a few reasons that people lock and dam rivers. On the Mississippi River, for example, it's done primarily to control flooding. They have periodic natural floods that happen every few years, and with a lock and dam system, they can kind of prohibit those from happening or prevent the negative, impacts of that from being so bad. Also, on the Mississippi River, it has a pretty complex meandering stream pattern, and if you have waterfront property one day, it could be a decade later, it could be landlocked. So locking and damming that really kind of helps control that. The Black Warrior River was locked and dammed primarily or initially for transportation and industrial purposes. Tuscaloosa is a fall line city. It's where the coastal plain and the Cumberland Plateau meet. So it's really as far up as you can go on the Black Warrior River before you reach like rocky shoals and waterfalls and things like that, which is actually why it was settled in the first place. So, because of this unique geological position, Tuscaloosa really does have a lot of natural resources, and people saw that if we can just ship these, if we can get them down to Mobile and ship it worldwide, we'll make a lot of money. So in the 1880s, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers decided to build 3 locks and dams on the Black Warrior River, and this really opened up a lot of industry and really kind of bent the economy. In the 1930s, they decided that these locks and dams weren't big enough for the ever-increasing size of ships. So they redid it. They did 6 locks and dams that submerged the original 3. And so finally, these vast mineral resources that occur in West Alabama and North Alabama could be shipped worldwide. You get it down to Mobile, you can ship it all over the world. So of course, it's had brought a lot of money to Tuscaloosa, brought a lot of industry, but it also had quite a few negative environmental impacts. The biggest one is that you're just completely evaporating an ecosystem that's been there for 1,000 years. Tuscaloosa, in that shallow, fast-moving stream environment, was home to a lot of cahaba lilies, which is a pretty rare plant, and it's a big part of the town. After they locked and dammed it, those were no more. You went from shallow, fast-moving stream to essentially a freshwater lake, and they just couldn't survive in that. We also used to have a lot of darting trout, species of trout, and after it was locked and dammed, those were completely went extinct. Another negative aspect of the locking and damming of rivers is that although it brought a lot of industry, it brought a lot of big boats, brought a lot of plants on the river, which led to a lot of pollution. The pollution got so bad that for a while, from around the 30s and 70s, you couldn't even drink the water from the Black Warrior River. They got its water from Yellow Creek, a completely different entity. And so it was pretty bad until the 70s when the EPA was enacted by President Richard Nixon. And Tuscaloosans actually really kind of took that to heart, to the point now where the Black Warrior River, specifically North River, the biggest tributary, is the primary source of drinking water for Tuscaloosa County. And so that's kind of been an issue that's been resolved. Another negative impact of blocking and damming a river is although you do have greater flood control, those natural periodic floods provide a lot of sedimentation and still necessary nutrients for the soil of the floodplain. And if you're denying yourself that, and if you're not denying yourself that flooding, then you're really not having as much fertile soil and farming land. And so we don't experience that as much here because there's not a lot of farming going on the edges of the Black Warrior River, but like in the Mississippi River, that's a really big deal. So there's a lot of positive economic benefits from locking and damming a river, and a lot of positive engineering, environmental engineering benefits. But it's really, you got to ask yourself whether the destruction of an ecosystem outweighs or is a good enough reason to lock and dam a river.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.